guys, welcome to a new video in the section of relationship mistakes in ... where I talk about the different relationship mistakes I see in different shows or movies. Today I'm going to be talking about the popular show that I love, Cobra Kai. So even though it's a show about karate, there's a lot of relationships in the show, lots of like love triangles, lots of love, lots of stuff going on like in every show. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about the relationship between Daniel LaRusso and his wife. So what I see in the character of his wife, I don't even know her name, and that should tell you something, is that it's the typical character that's just there to fill in a necessary role, which is like to support her husband all the time, to be like, there you go, baby, I'm here for you. So like whatever he says or whatever he does, she just has a reaction to it. There's no other character development beyond that. Like she doesn't have her own thoughts, ideas, dreams, aspirations, things she wants to do, hobbies. No, it's like he does something she doesn't like, she's like, that was wrong. He does something she does like, she's like, way to go, baby, and that's it. So their love is very one-sided in a way, because it's just like, okay, he's in love with her, so she's in love with him. You know, there's nothing there really much more than that. So what I basically think about this is that in real life, you want a relationship to be two-sided. So if in real life you're looking for the kind of relationship that Daniel LaRusso has with his wife, you're not going to find it, for the simple reason that you don't want a one-sided love. Like everything that you say or do, she's just like, yeah, that's great. Or anything that you're interested in, she's interested in. It's like, or he, you know, it's like that other person has no other aspirations, hobbies, or things they want to do that have anything to do with anything that's different from what you want to do. And that's just not right. You know, in a real relationship that's healthy in real life, you know, of course you're going to have things in common. You're going to have things you like to do together. Your partner is going to be there for you when you have a problem and tell you, yeah, I think that's great, or no, I don't think that's great. But at the same time, you also have to be there for your partner. In the show, Daniel LaRusso is never there for his wife. She never has a separate problem from him that he needs to help her with. It's always focused on him and what he needs, and she just is an irrelevant character in any other way. So in real life, this is a huge relationship mistake. You can be so totally self-centered and want the other person to just always be there for you, and you're never there for the other person. It has to be 50-50. You both have to be there for each other. So moving on to Johnny Lawrence. There are two aspects to Johnny Lawrence's love life in the show. One is that his blossoming relationship, he starts dating and liking Miguel's mother, which I really like that relationship. And the other one is his obsession with his ex-girlfriend back from high school, who got like stolen away by Daniel LaRusso. And even though it was so many years ago, he's still like hung up on it, and he wants to reconnect with her and all that kind of stuff, right? So first off, in reference to his relationship with Miguel's mother, I think this is a very healthy relationship, and I don't see any mistakes in it. Obviously, because of the whole drama that unfolds in the show, they end up like breaking up. But I do wish they would get back together, because they seem compatible. They seem like they have things in common. You know, they're both attractive, and I really like them as a couple. And the way that he like set out to go out with her and to, you know, just date her, and the way that he declared his feelings for her and everything, it all works out well. Like there was nothing awkward, there was nothing embarrassing, it all flowed. They both seemed to like each other, and it was just healthy. So like I do think the whole strategy of how they started dating and the strategy he had to like let her know that he liked her, I think that's all healthy and good, and I do think that that's fine to replicate in real life. However, when it comes to his obsession with his ex-girlfriend from high school, I think that's totally unhealthy and a huge relationship mistake. Of course, they're doing this in the show because it's a character that we know from the movie, and because they want to bring her on to the next season and all of that, and so that there's drama. And so I understand that. But at the same time, in real life, it's not good to be hung up on somebody. So obviously, you're not probably hung up on somebody from 30 years ago, but you might be hung up on somebody from a year ago, from 2 years ago, from 3 years ago, from even a few months ago. If you've dated somebody and it hasn't worked out, and that person has apparently moved on with their life, it's not good to be hung up on somebody and think about all the what could have beens, you know, and all the things that could have happened with that person. It's better to just move on with your life. It's never good to be hung up with somebody, because if it didn't work out in that moment, regardless of the reason why it didn't work out, it has a good chance of not working out in the future. And what's past is past. If that person has moved on with their life, it's not good to still be obsessed. It's a bit pathetic, and it just doesn't lead to anywhere healthy. It's always good to just keep looking out, keep looking around people, and you'll find somebody else that's probably going to be even better than that relationship. Just because you think that, oh, it could have worked out if this or that, it's not good to get hung up on that relationship when there are much better things in store for you. And so I think this is a huge relationship mistake in Cobra Kai, and that if you're in this situation where you're still hung up on an ex or somebody you once liked, you really have to and should move on. Next, I want to talk about Hawk. So he was a very geeky kid, and he ends up becoming cool, doing his hair and getting tattoos and being suddenly cool and really good at karate. And he starts dating a really popular pretty girl from the high school. And at first it's going great, but then he becomes super cocky and just super mean. And she's like, no, I liked you because at the end of the day, you were a nice guy. Yeah, I'd seen you had this physical change or glow up, but I really liked you because you were a nice guy. Now that you're being mean, no, I'm not into it. I don't want to be with you anymore. And so this is a relationship mistake that he did, which was become all cocky and mean, and that made her break up with him. But I think it's good that they show in the show that kind of behavior caused her to break up with him, because that's what I think would happen in real life. So in real life, if you're just a nice girl or guy, you have a nice personality, and you suddenly become super mean, super cocky, and just think you're the coolest and the baddest, the person that you're with is not going to like that behavior, especially if you're evolving into that behavior and just you didn't used to be like that. You used to be a good person. And just in general, having that behavior is not a good thing. Nobody likes somebody like that. And so I think it's really good that they show in the show. Lots of times they do show in movies and stuff that the popular pretty girl is with a guy that's a total jerk, a total bad guy, and yet she doesn't notice how bad he is, until eventually she falls in love with somebody else. But she's dating him for a long time. I like that in the show right away. As soon as she saw that he was a bad guy, the girl was like, no, I don't want to be with you. And so I think that's really important to note. And so, yeah, don't be a bad guy in relationships or a bad girl. You know what I mean? Treat your partner with respect, but also treat others with respect, because nobody likes somebody who's that mean. And that's it, And so now, finally, we get into the most meatiest part of the video. The foursome of Miguel, which is our main character who I love, Johnny Lawrence's son, who is very handsome, although my fave is Johnny Lawrence. I'm in love with him. Daniel LaRusso's daughter, and this other girl that just shows up in the second season, right? So to start off, Miguel starts dating Daniel LaRusso's daughter, and it's a bit of a drama because he's the protected kid of Johnny Lawrence, and she's of course Daniel LaRusso's daughter, and so there's drama there. But at the end of the day, it's fine. But then they have incidents. He acts a bit jerky, and she thinks that he's being mean, and she breaks up with him basically. But while they break up, they're still kind of hung up on each other. She's still thinking about him. He's still thinking about her. They're all oh, I'm so sad. So their relationship was pretty much normal. I didn't see any big mistakes there. I do think that once they broke up, a huge relationship mistake, and what I thought was really stupid, was how they were both mooning over the other one. They were still not over it, and yet they didn't want to get back together. He did, but she didn't want to. I think in a situation like this, honestly, you have two options. Either if you really think that you miss the person, you should just get back together with them. And in this case, I don't think anything major had happened and they could have totally gotten back together. I think she made a big deal out of nothing, honestly. But the other option is if you really don't want to get back together with that person, you're they crossed the line that I just don't accept, well then your option is to move on. But to moon over somebody, to be all sad and heartbroken but not really want to get back together, is just a waste of time, a waste of emotion, and just silly. So I totally don't recommend this in real life. So basically what happens is that as time goes on, Daniel LaRusso's daughter starts noticing Johnny Lawrence's son, which can also be a big drama, but at the moment they don't know he's Johnny Lawrence's son, and he's being taught karate and all this kind of stuff with Daniel LaRusso, so they're close, they're together all the time. He's very handsome. It's obvious it was going to happen, so they get together. At the same time, even though Miguel is all moping over her, he meets this new girl that comes to the karate class, and she likes him right away, and she comes on to him, and so they get together. So at this moment, everything seems fine, so to speak. because, both couples are together, they're separate. Both Miguel and Daniel Lewis's daughter find out they're both seeing other people, and they seem to be fine with it. So in this moment, I have no problem with either relationship. I don't see either as a mistake, because as I said, I think it was natural for Johnny Lawrence's son and Daniel Lewis's daughter to get together, because at the end of the day, they were spending all that time together. They're both good looking, and it made sense. At the same time, I think Miguel going out with that girl made sense, because they'd met, they were both single, they're both attractive as well. Why not, So up to that point, there's no problem. But the girl starts getting jealous of the other girl because she's the ex of Miguel, and there starts being drama between all of them. And then comes the big mistake, which is cheating, which I'm never in favor of. So basically what happens is that at a party, Miguel and Daniel LaRusso's daughter see each other, start talking, and she kind of initiates the kiss, but he doesn't totally stop her, and they kiss. But right away, he does the right thing, and he's like, no, we can't do this. I'm with somebody else now, so are you. Let's not do this. And she kind of is not that happy with the situation. And then, of course, the end of the show happens. A huge fight ensues, and everybody gets beat up, and it's like a huge disaster, And the terrible thing that happens to Miguel, I mean, come on. But basically, what I didn't like about this scene, was that I'm never in favor of cheating, and I didn't like how, on the one hand, it seemed like the relationship between, Daniel LaRusso's daughter and Joey Lawrence's son was going great. So why was there a need for her to still have feelings for Miguel, to be like she still liked him? If she was single, that would be one thing. Even if he had a girlfriend, it would be like, okay, but she's single and she still has feelings for him. But I think it's just mean, and I don't like it when there's these love triangles where she has feelings for one guy, but she has feelings for the other guy. And the same thing goes for him. If he still had feelings for her, he shouldn't be dating the other girl. And so I just think it's a huge mess. And I think in real life, you should be clear on who you like. So if you really like one person, or if you're still hung up on your ex, it's not time for you to date yet. If you're still hung up on your ex, it's never a good idea to start dating somebody else, because then you're going to hurt that person's feelings if your ex suddenly comes back into the picture and wants to get back together with you. And I just really think you should give yourself time to heal. And if you're really over your ex when you're with somebody else, then you should not let them initiate a kiss, try to come after you, and you should be faithful always to the person you're with. So that's the only thing I wanted to say about that. But of course, it's entertaining and it's TV. But, those are the relationship mistakes I saw in Cobra Kai that I don't think you should replicate in your real life. So that's it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the video. Please, please, please comment, like, and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on relationship mistakes in different shows and movies. So if you have a suggestion for a movie or show that you want to know the relationship mistakes in that show or movie, leave it in the comments below. And I also do videos on just dating advice in general, situationships, friends with benefits, how to get out of the friend zone, what it means to actually be on a break, and a bunch of videos like that. So please check out all my videos, and please, please, please again, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you again next time very soon. Okay? Bye, guys.